taking a swig out of like fluorescent green water and muddy, slumpy water, because when you're in your art zone, you're really focused. And take a handful of clay, it sticks together. So clay is basically dirt that's elastic. So it's going to hold together. In Georgia, clay is this color, right? I bet you've seen it on your shoes, you've seen it on your mother's carpet, you've seen it on your socks. We are not going to use Georgia clay, because Georgia clay, it's kind of hard to get the glaze on it so you see the colors well. We're going to use clay that's from Minnesota. This clay, when it fires, it's going to turn white. Okay, so your clay is going to be nice and bright. We're going to glaze it today, so you're going to be able to see the colors. Does anyone know how hot Harry Potter gets? What do you think?
416 degrees?
No, so I'm giving you hints. So your mom, if she's cooking dinner, it's going to be probably 350, 400 degrees. So I'm going to tell you it's a lot hotter than that. So what do you think? 1,000, double that, 2,000 degrees. So when the kiln is firing, I've got something that color orange right here actually. When the kiln is firing, there's a little keyhole and it gets this color. Exactly this color. It's crazy hot. It is the same temperature as a volcano. And I keep a lock on it because it takes 2 days, and so I'm not always here when it's firing. If somebody opens the kiln when it's this hot, it could kill them because 70 degrees is room temperature, and if it's opened at like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, the shock makes everything inside the kiln explode. So it's like a crazy, crazy hot thing. What I'm going to do is give everyone a piece of clay, and I'm going to show you how to make this. When you're making clay, basically I'm going to teach you the construction of the piece, but the decoration is up to your creativity. So your piece might have a Legos pattern. Your piece might have a cat head on the top for the little lid. Your piece might be have all kinds of leaves and flowers that you make that you kind of curl around like a vine. Or I went through a tentacles phase where everything I made looked like an octopus. It had those little tentacles that came out the side. So it's really up to you how you decorate it. Over here is a bunch of stuff to decorate with. There's only a couple things that are really important to know to make sure your project turns out. One of them is air bubbles. If your clay has air bubbles, what happens to it? Yeah. It will explode. It will absolutely explode. Okay, so that would be like super sad for you. But it would also be super sad for everybody. Because what happens is, if one person's clay explodes, yeah, it destroys everybody.
The last day we made clay owls.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome. You just did one. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Not every school even has a kiln, so be very happy that you get to do clay at school. Throw it down. You can see it's going to get loud when all of us are doing this, right? And keep pounding. Pick it up. Throw it down. You see the dust? Once you start making clay, I'm going to bring you all your drinks, because what happens is you're going to get insanely thirsty in like 20 minutes. Because clay does produce dust. I'm always fighting the dust war in here, but it does produce dust. That's why the cake is still covered. So the cake doesn't have a layer of dust on it. So you're going to pound. When you're pounding it, what you're trying to do is get it even. I don't want to be too thick in the middle, thin on the edges. So I do that a bunch of times, and then everybody has a rolling pin. You're going to take your rolling pin. If you put your hands on the handle, it's a little harder to push. I don't want to do this to you. That puts air inside. So I'm going to keep it flat and put it there. Then I'm going to cut the sides and cut the other side. So in the piece we're going to make today, we have 3 different steps. We're going to make the round part of the vessel. We're going to make the bottom, and we're going to make the top with a little handle on it. So it's a little treasure box. And we can kind of adjust. We can use our fingers to push it out so it's rounder. We can do it square, whatever we want. Okay, once you have this piece, see how when I cut it, there's all these little rough pieces? Okay, so that looks very innocent, right? I smooth all those little rough edges out. That's gonna make your project look a lot better. So I'm smooth everything out. And now, this is going to be the round part of your vessel. Okay, you're gonna pick it up, and that's your main piece. It's kind of soft and floppy, so it's easier to decorate it when it's still flat. So this is where I spend most of my time. So let me just give you a couple of examples of things you can do. So you can use the rolling pins to roll texture into it. Okay, isn't that cool? We have all different patterns, so when you get to this point, what I'd like you to do is come up and look at all the things I have over there. Things like lace or the bacon strips, you can put on the clay. You can push it in with your fingers, but it's easier to take a rolling pin and push it in. And to me, that looks like it won't ever come out at the bottom more. Or we can tighten it up and make it more narrow at the top. So you can kind of choose the shape. This was the shape I did too, where I just took it and instead of making it round, I smushed it a little so it's oval. Okay, so this is where you can infuse your own special look to it. If you want it to be wider, do a longer rectangle, and it'll be a bigger, wider bottom. Okay, does anyone have any questions? You have questions?
Since the lid is flat, what if it like falls off and it doesn't have anything to hold it on?
Yes, so there's an, let me show you a way to do the lid.
You gotta make sure they're like, it's good. You gotta make sure it's okay to make it. And guess what? The oven cooks like hotter than mom, or like this, like how hot mom.
Perfect.
That's crazy.
I don't think I want it. I might want one. After you fix it now, what?
It's doing great.
Oh, you better.
Glaze is going to come out white. So don't ask me for white glaze because I'll just say don't put anything on it. Every glaze has its own brush. So when you're done with the blue, keep the brush in the blue and bring it back and I'll give you a second color. Give drinks. Drinks.
Water is not
Cherry lemon, thank you. Delicious. Well, we just got more cherry lemon. Come on, cherry lemon. And pineapple coming up and clear and orange. Oh, yeah, this is it's orange inside. That's pretty.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Either just paint them blue or leave them white?
I'm gonna probably get another color and just paint over the blue.
I'll switch them to the
Okay, I'm done with this.
It's good, isn't it? It's like the perfect ratio
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kennedy. Happy birthday to you.
Make a wish! Woo!
Okay, I'm going to cut the cake. I'm going to bring it to you at your tables.
Happy birthday every day, brighter and sweeter and kinder and brighter. So think of this card as a little reminder of how fun and special you are. Love you, Snoopy.
Maybe she could turn the music down.
Thank you. That's so fun. You are totally. Is this yeah.
You're totally your own person, always expecting great things from yourself and going after them with all your heart. I hope you know how much I love that and everything you are. That makes me so incredibly proud of you today and always. Happy birthday. Love, Nana and Papa. Beautiful card.
Marva Llamas.
And you couldn't be loved more. Happy birthday. Happy night. Love. Oh, I think that's the winter is getting us close. Oh, that's Can I do? Can I do from Thank you. I don't know why it's Pokemon card.
Let me see.
I love Pokemon. Kennedy, iron. That's you need to be really listen from. This breaks easily. You're welcome.